We have breaking news this hour. U.S. has defeated Team Canada to capture gold in men's hockey at the Winter Games.
Breaking news.
Gee, I wonder what it is.
Yeah. So the USA finally, for the first time since the Miracle on Ice, takes gold in men's hockey. They go to overtime against Canada. The U.S. got on the board about, 6 minutes into this game.
Team USA crushed Canada in overtime and stunned the hockey world. The gold medal game lasted only 1 minute and 41 seconds into extra time before it was over. One goal ended decades of waiting. The United States had not won Olympic men's hockey gold since 1980. That changed in a sudden flash on Olympic ice. The game took place at the 2026 Winter Olympics in the men's ice hockey final. The matchup featured the United States and Canada, two nations with a long hockey history. National Hockey League players were allowed to compete in this tournament, bringing top-level talent to the Olympic stage. Both teams entered the final after advancing through the medal round. The United States opened the scoring in the first period. Forward Matt Boldy scored the first goal of the game. That goal gave Team USA a 1-0 lead. The play came during even-strength action. After the goal, Canada increased pressure in the offensive zone. Canada generated more shots in the first period, but did not score before the intermission. At the end of the first period, the United States led 1-0. Canada had the edge in total shots. The American defense focused on clearing rebounds and limiting second chances. Goaltender Connor Hellebuyck made key saves early to keep the lead intact. In the second period, Canada tied the game. Defenseman Cale Makar scored late in the period to make it 1-1. The goal came after sustained puck movement in the offensive zone. Makar found space and sent the puck past Hellebuyck. That goal shifted momentum and reset the contest heading into the third period. Through two periods, Canada let in shots on goal. The United States maintained structured defensive coverage. Hellebuyck continued to stop attempts from high-traffic areas. Canada attempted to establish net front presence. The game remained tied entering the final regulation period. The third period did not produce a goal. Canada continued to generate scoring chances. The United States relied on defensive positioning and controlled exits. Both teams created opportunities, but neither side broke the tie. Regulation ended with the score 1-1, sending the gold medal game to overtime. Under Olympic rules, overtime in the medal round used a 3-on-3 format. The open ice created more space for speed and puck movement. Just 1 minute and 41 seconds into the extra period forward, Jack Hughes scored the game-winning goal. The play ended the contest immediately. The United States secured a 2-1 overtime victory. Hughes' goal became the gold medal winner. The timing of the goal made it one of the quickest overtime finishes in an Olympic final. Teammates rushed the ice in celebration. The scoreboard confirmed the result. United States, 2 Canada, 1 overtime. Connor Hellebuyck finished the game with 41 saves on 42 shots. Canada recorded 42 total shots on goal. The United States recorded 23 shots. Hellebuyck's save percentage for the game exceeded .970. His performance kept the United States tied during long stretches of Canadian pressure. Matt Boldy's first period goal and Jack Hughes' overtime goal accounted for the American scoring. Cale Makar recorded the lone goal for Canada. The statistical difference in shots did not change the final outcome. Goaltending and finishing chances defined the result. The victory marked the United States' third Olympic gold medal in men's ice hockey. It was the first since the 1980 Winter Olympics. The 1980 team defeated the Soviet Union in the semifinals and Finland in the final to win gold. The 2026 win ended a 46-year gap between gold medals for the U.S. men's program. Canada entered the final seeking another Olympic title. The roster included experienced National Hockey League players. However, forward, Sidney Crosby did not play in the gold medal game due to injury. Crosby previously won Olympic gold medals in 2010 and 2014. His absence affected line combinations and power play rotations for Canada. Special teams did not decide the final. Neither team scored a power play goal in the game. Most of the contest was played at even strength. The pace remained controlled through the neutral zone, with both teams limiting odd man rushes during regulation. During the medal ceremony and celebration, American players honored Johnny Gaudreau by carrying his jersey on the ice. The gesture occurred as the team celebrated its victory. Gaudreau had connections with several players on the roster through National Hockey League and international competition. The 2026 Olympic tournament marked the return of National Hockey League participation in the Winter Games. The final between the United States and Canada drew attention because of the rivalry and the presence of active National Hockey League stars. Canada finished the tournament with the silver medal. The United States claimed gold. The bronze medal game had been decided earlier in the day between the remaining semifinal teams. The gold medal game concluded the men's hockey schedule for the Olympics. The final statistics showed Canada with 42 shots and the United States with 23. Hellebuyck stopped 41 of 42 attempts. Hughes scored at 1 minute and 41 seconds of overtime. Boldy scored in the first period. Makar scored in the second period. The official result recorded the United States as Olympic champions. The game added another chapter to the long-standing international rivalry between the two countries. Previous Olympic meetings have included finals and elimination games. The 2026 final joined that list with an overtime decision. When the puck crossed the line in overtime, the arena reaction was immediate. Officials confirmed the goal. The American bench cleared. The clock stopped at 1 minute and 41 seconds of the extra period. The gold medal was decided in less than 2 minutes of overtime play. Team USA's 2-1 overtime win over Canada stands in the Olympic record books as the first American men's hockey gold medal since 1980. The result came after 60 minutes of regulation and 1 minute and 41 seconds of overtime. The final score remains United States 2, Canada 1.
The wait is over.
It's been a really long time. We need to get best on best back at those big games where it's country against country and it becomes more than hockey.
Opening night of the Four Nations face-off.
Well, for me, it's Celebrini, McDavid, Wilson. I love that. I think that's a really good line. I saw how they come together there. And the reason McDavid, who's going to have the biggest spotlight on him, he's going to shoulder a lot of the responsibility for this team, as he should, and he's ready to do. But Tommy Wilson on that right side of him.
Connor McDavid sent a powerful message to Team USA, and it was not delivered in a press conference. It came through his performance on Olympic ice. Every shift, the 2026 Winter Olympics marked the return of NHL players to Olympic competition for the first time since 2014. Connor McDavid entered the tournament as an alternate captain for Team Canada, and this is his first appearance at the Olympic Games. Canada opened the men's tournament with dominant results in group play. In the preliminary round, Canada defeated France 10-2. The team controlled possession and built a multi-goal lead early. After that game, McDavid stated, "We did what we came to do." The result gave Canada early momentum and established one of the highest single-game goal totals in the tournament. Canada followed with a 5-1 win over Switzerland. In that game, McDavid scored his first Olympic goal on the power play and added assists. His production placed him among the tournament's early scoring leaders. Through 2 games, he recorded 6 total points. Canada closed preliminary play with a 5-0 victory over the Czech Republic. The team finished the group stage undefeated and secured the top overall seed entering the knockout round. Canada's goal differential ranked ahead of the United States, which also advanced with a strong record. McDavid's message to Team USA has not been verbal, it has been statistical. Through multiple Olympic games, he accumulated 9 total points across goals and assists that placed him at or near the top of the scoring leaderboard among all players in the men's tournament. His power play involvement has been consistent against Switzerland. His goal came with the man advantage. His assists created scoring sequences that expanded Canada's lead. At even strength, he has generated offense through speed and puck control. Canada's roster depth reinforces that message. Have all contributed in scoring roles. Marner scored the overtime winner in the quarterfinal round, sending Canada to the semifinal. That goal came 1:22 into overtime. During the quarterfinal, captain Sidney Crosby suffered a lower body injury and left the game. Head coach John Cooper confirmed Crosby had not been ruled out for the remainder of the tournament and would be evaluated. With Crosby's status uncertain, alternate captains, including McDavid, carried greater responsibility. Canada's defensive structure has also supported its offensive output. The semifinal stage places Canada 1 win away from the gold medal game. The Olympic format is single elimination at this point. A victory advances a team to play for gold, and a loss ends that path. The Canada-USA rivalry adds context to this tournament. The two nations have met in multiple Olympic and international championship games. A gold medal matchup would place McDavid against American NHL stars under Olympic stakes. Finland head coach Antti Pennanen said there were no lengths they would not consider with a gold medal opportunity at stake. The remark highlighted how opponents are preparing specifically for Canada's offensive threats. McDavid's threat is defined by measurable production. His goal contributions account for a significant percentage of Canada's scoring through the first rounds. His assist totals reflect playmaking involvement on multiple lines. Canada's special teams rank among the strongest in the tournament. McDavid's Olympic debut has been marked by high-impact shifts and consistent scoring. His presence on the top line and first power play unit demonstrates the coaching staff's reliance on his production. The message sent to Team USA is not spoken. It is reflected in standings, goal totals, and scoring charts. Canada enters the final stage of the tournament as the top-seeded team with one of the highest goal outputs in the competition. The Olympic schedule concludes on February 22 with the gold medal game. Canada's path remains active and the United States' path remains active. Statistical leaders, including Connor McDavid, now shape the final outcome through performance rather than words.
We're with Bruce Boudreau and Frankie Corrado. Guys, Mitch Marner with another signature moment for Team Canada. Bruce, just how wild was that finish?
I'll tell you what, these are the kind of games where your heart can't take it. You're cheering for a team so much, and it's going back and forth. And when Mitch Marner made the play, it's so totally Mitch. It doesn't look like anything's going on. Then all of a sudden, a deke here, a move there, top right corner, and it was a great goal. We've seen it before. We've seen it in overtime in the past with Mitch Marner, but it sure you could feel Canada lifting up when that happened. So it was a great relief.
The entire country.
Yeah.
Sudden silence turned into instant celebration. Mitch Marner stepped into open ice and ended Canada's Olympic quarterfinal without warning. One shot decided everything. The threat of elimination disappeared in a moment. The goal sent Canada forward and shifted the pressure across the tournament. But that single play carried more meaning than just a win.
Well, and think about it. Canada needs someone to step up. Sidney Crosby wasn't in the game anymore. Celebrini and McDavid, they were unbelievable. McKinnon felt like he was going, but you needed someone else. And now, can I say that's big game Mitch Marner, the guy who has faced so much scrutiny throughout the course of his career for what he hasn't done in the playoffs as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and now on the international stage delivering. Overtime winner at the Four Nations.
Mitch Marner delivered the decisive goal in overtime to push Canada past Czechia in the Olympic quarterfinal. The game had reached sudden death play after both teams remained locked at the end of regulation. With the season on the line and no room for error, Marner finished the contest during the opening stretch of overtime. The overtime format reduced the number of players on the ice. That created wider lanes and quicker rushes. Marner used that space to move into scoring position. Once he released the shot, the puck crossed the line and officials confirmed the goal. The contest ended immediately under sudden death rules. The win advanced Canada into the semifinal round. A loss would have ended its medal pursuit. Instead, the team moved forward in the bracket. The result shifted preparation toward the next opponent and kept Canada in position to compete for gold. Reports from ESPN confirmed that the goal came early in overtime and officially sealed the victory. Reuters described the outcome as Canada surviving a tense quarterfinal to reach the semifinal. The official scoring summary listed Marner as the player who ended the game. The matchup had remained tight throughout regulation. Neither side created a large separation on the scoreboard. Canada had to respond during key stretches to avoid elimination. The tie forced overtime and set up the decisive sequence. The timing of the goal also placed Marner into Olympic history discussion. Newsweek reported that his overtime winner marked the fastest overtime goal in Olympic hockey during the NHL participation era. That record became part of the official tournament data after the game concluded. Earlier in the same quarterfinal, Canada faced another challenge when captain Sidney Crosby left with a lower body injury. His departure required changes in forward lines and special teams units. Marner remained active in the offensive rotation as overtime began. NBC Olympics coverage noted that Canada escaped a difficult contest and confirmed that Marner's strike secured the semifinal berth. The goal prevented what would have been an early exit for one of the tournament favorites. The official result moved Canada into a semi-final meeting with Finland. Preparation time remained short between games. The overtime finish added physical strain to both teams, but Canada advanced while Czechia's tournament ended. Marner's role in the elimination round became the defining storyline of the night. The official box score recorded his goal as the final action of the game. With that play, Canada's Olympic campaign continued and the bracket shifted accordingly. The impact of Marner's goal extended beyond the final whistle. The quarterfinal carried elimination stakes, and the overtime format meant that one play would decide everything. When Marner scored, Canada's path in the tournament changed immediately. The semi-final opponent was Finland. The turnaround between games remained short under the Olympic schedule. Teams must prepare quickly following overtime contests. Canada advanced, but the workload from extended play remained part of the physical demand. Another factor shaped the context of the win. Earlier in the game, captain Sidney Crosby exited with a lower body injury and did not return. His absence required line changes before overtime began. Despite that adjustment, Canada maintained its offensive pressure. Marner stayed in the forward rotation and became the player who finished the contest. Newsweek reported that the timing of the overtime winner set a record in Olympic hockey during the NHL participation era. The official statistic attached Marner's name to that mark. That detail became part of tournament history and remained documented in Olympic records. NBC Olympics coverage described the victory as Canada surviving a close contest. The report confirmed that the decisive play came in overtime and immediately ended the match. The official scoring sheet listed Marner as the game-winning scorer, and the result placed Canada among the final 4 teams. The bracket shifted once the goal was recorded. Czechia's campaign concluded with the overtime loss. Canada continued forward with a semi-final berth secured. There was no shootout. There was no extended delay. The sudden death format meant that one successful attempt settled the outcome. Marner's overtime goal stands in the official record as the play that advanced Canada beyond the quarterfinal stage. The tournament structure moved ahead, and Canada remained in contention for a medal.
With Frankie Corrado, Brad Marchand watched Canada's last 2 games from up in the seats due to injury, but John Cooper said he'll be back in the lineup for the quarterfinals.
Cleared. Confirmed. Back in the lineup. Brad Marchand is officially returning to Team Canada just as the Olympic knockout stage begins. After missing 2 straight games, his sudden clearance has changed the quarterfinal picture. Coaches stayed quiet. Practices continued behind closed doors. Now the decision is final, and what this means for Canada's medal push is only starting to unfold. Brad Marchand will play in Canada's Olympic quarterfinal game in Milan. Head coach John Cooper confirmed that Marchand will be in the quarters, according to the Hockey News. That statement ended days of uncertainty about his status. Marchand had missed 2 group stage games but continued to practice with the team during that time. Canada completed the preliminary round with a perfect 3-0 record. The team defeated Czechia in its opening game. Marchand played limited minutes in that matchup and recorded 1 assist. After that, he did not dress against Switzerland. He also did not play in Canada's final group game, direct path to the quarterfinals. Sidney Crosby recorded multiple points in that game. The offense scored consistently across all 3 periods. Marchand watched from the sidelines as teammates closed out the group stage. Reports describe Marchand's absence as precautionary. He was not listed as a long-term injury case. He participated in team practices and skated in full gear. No public details were released about a specific injury. The Times of India reported that he had been cleared for Team Canada's Olympic quarterfinal return after injury concern. The 2026 Winter Olympics mark the first time since 2014 that NHL players are competing in the games. Canada's roster includes established NHL veterans and top scorers. Marchand brings more than 1,000 NHL games of experience. He has over 900 career points and more than 300 goals in regular season play. He also won a Stanley Cup with the Boston Bruins. With elimination games beginning, roster spots become tighter. Olympic rules limit the number of dressed skaters. Marchand's return means another forward will sit. Reports have mentioned lineup decisions involving players such as Nick Suzuki. Final combinations will appear on the official game sheet before puck drop. Canada now moves into single elimination play. 1 loss ends medal hopes. Marchand's confirmed return adds depth at a critical stage, and the quarterfinal lineup decision carries even more weight now. Marchand's NHL record shows long-term production and durability. He has played more than 1,000 regular season games. He has scored over 300 goals and recorded more than 900 career points. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, he has appeared in more than 140 games. He was part of Boston's 2011 Stanley Cup championship team. Internationally, he represented Canada at the 2016 World Cup of Hockey and scored in the tournament final. Canada's Olympic roster features veteran leaders such as Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid. Both logged major minutes during the preliminary round. Crosby recorded multiple points points against France. McDavid played in all 3 group games. Marchand's return adds another experienced winger who has played in high-pressure playoff games. Olympic tournament rules limit dress skaters to 12 forwards and 6 defensemen per game. Because Marchand is returning, 1 forward must be scratched. Reports reference lineup considerations involving Nick Suzuki, though no final decision was publicly announced at the time of confirmation. Official line combinations will be known only when the game sheet is released before the quarterfinal. This Olympic tournament in Milan marks the first games with NHL participation since Sochi 2014. The league paused its season to allow players to compete. Canada entered the event as one of the top-seeded teams based on roster depth and experience. The group stage results supported that standing. Marchand's clearance now shifts attention to deployment. Coaches will decide his ice time, line placement, and special teams usage before puck drop. The quarterfinal begins a new phase, and the final roster choices will define Canada's next step in the medal round.
Sidney Crosby is aging like a fine wine.
Offensively, defensively, through the neutral zone, best player in the game.
I'm telling you, the best winner right now, Sidney Crosby.
Welcome to the Crosby Show, Canada. Slap me, silly, Sidney.
From Rimouski in the Quebec Major Junior League, Sidney Crosby.